Hey guys, it's Kyle Thompson here with eXp Realty, bringing you another monthly market update for Kamloops, and this week we're going to be covering all property types. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so starting off big picture, last month we had 305 new listings, 119 new sales. The average list price was $652,676. The average sale price was $630,312. Properties are selling for 96.57% of the list price on average. It's taking an average of 53.48 days for properties to sell, and we ended the month with a monthly inventory of 715 units. Let's take a look at the market conditions to see what that translates into. I like to use both the monthly supply of inventory method and the sales to new listing ratio. So when using the MSI, we came in at 4.43 months worth of inventory, which puts us squarely into neutral market territory. When it comes to the sales to new listing ratio, we came in at 39%, which puts us into buyer's territory, but bordering on a neutral market. Now let's take a look at what that means for the inventory. Last month, we had a big spike in new inventory. Sales continued their trend higher for the second month in a row, and expireds have been trending lower since peaking in December. The price for a benchmark home increased $4,600 from $568,600 to $573,200. Now let's take a look at the 10-year averages to keep these numbers in perspective. Starting off with inventory. Last month, we ended the month with 715 available units, which is the highest we've seen this time of year since 2020. However, we still are about 4% below the 10-year average of 745. Moving on to new listings. So far, year to date, there have been 542 new listings, which is about 2% below the 10-year average of 552. If we look at sales instead, we see that the slow start continues. So far, we've only had 222 new sales, which is about 30% below the 10-year average of 319. We are currently trending just lower than we were last year, which was the slowest year in a decade. So off to a terrible start. Now let's jump over and take a look at the sales dashboard, starting off with average sale price. These changes are measured year over year. And when we look at it that way, sales are down pretty well across the board, with the exception of apartments and manufactured homes, which are up 3% and 9% respectively, which makes sense when you think about it, as they are the cheapest type of properties to get into, and with rates as high as they are, it makes the more expensive homes harder to qualify for, and so they are hit harder. Overall, prices are only down about 2.73% year over year. Now let's take a look at the sales to list price ratio. This is a good measure of how much negotiating room there is when you are a buyer. And last month we came in at 96.53, which is about the middle of the road for the last 12 months. However, it has been trending upwards, which means that there is less negotiating room on average. Now let's jump over and take a look at the sales by property type. Once again, these are measured year over year, and overall sales are up about 1%. Of the property types that have significant volume, oddly enough, only manufactured homes are down on the year, with single-family dwellings, townhomes, apartments, half duplexes being up anywhere between 1 through 9%. Now let's take a look at how long it's taking properties to sell, starting off with the 10-year average. So far this year, it's taken an average of 56 days for properties to sell, which is about 11% below the 10-year average of 63. If we look at the trailing 12 months instead, it's been taking an average of 51 days to sell, whereas in February it took an average of 54, which is about a 5% increase. Finally, let's take a look at days on market by sub-area type. Properties are taking longer to sell in all of the major property types. Full duplexes and recreational dwellings have been selling faster, but they have extremely low sales volume, so that likely accounts for the reduction in days on market. If you take an average of all the property types, it is taking approximately 28% longer for properties to sell when measured year over year. That's all we have for today. If you're getting some value out of these market updates, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. And if you have any feedback or suggestions on things I could add to provide more value in these market updates, feel free to leave your suggestions in the comment section below or reach out to me directly. All of my contact info is in the description. Thanks for watching.